So we need to chat really quick because I have been going through something for quite a few weeks now, I would say, and I feel like I need to talk about it with you guys because it's really annoying. It's truly annoying. And basically, I'm having this very bizarre moment in my fitness journey where I'm having like muscle gain and fat loss basically in like perfect proportion, essentially. And it's been happening since, I guess, May. So I told you guys I've been in like a low-key cal def. I've been like about 250-ish. And I've weighed the same completely. I've weighed the same for a long time. So I think this year in general has been very like body comp oriented. And basically, I would say since I reached my maintenance or my pseudo maintenance in May, it's just been like a perfect proportion. I always laugh because all of these like fitness bros and stuff, they're always like, maintenance is so difficult and da da da, and it's like, why have I figured it out perfectly? I've had like perfect maintenance. I've stayed at 215 perfectly, and it's like, I don't know, I just think they don't want to count or something. I think it's that kind of thing. But anyways, no, maintenance is not that hard. It's just not. Sorry, not sorry. But what I will say is so there are certain feelings that come with a deficit. There are certain feelings that come with losing a bit of fat. And really, like, over the summer solstice, so over like June, July, now getting into August, I think what's happening is I'm having a moment of body comp changing my metabolism, basically. But at the same time, it's not really changing my weight. So it's kind of like muscle burns more calories than fat, but I'm putting on enough muscle that it counteracts the fat lost. And basically it's like a half a pound for half a pound, essentially. And I have been building muscle kind of aggressively, or I've been really working at it. Lots of protein, lots of lifting heavy, that kind of thing. So it's nothing shocking, but it's just the feeling of that deficit and the feeling of the fat burning. It is getting more intense as the weeks go by. And I went to LA and I stayed on track because I was like, I want to continue on. I don't want to lose any progress at all, especially because I'm going slower. And so I just stayed on track, and it was tough. It was tough physically. I did a lot of physical activity on that trip. It was kind of insane. And I was still in a slight cal def, and I kept up with everything. Then I come back and it is hotter than Satan's asshole in Alabama. I shit you not. Like, I am sitting here in the heat. It is hot in August in Alabama. It is like crazy. And so I'm sitting here and I'm just like, I'm feeling all these effects because the summer is so intense. It is thyroid boosting. It does make you lose more. Like, if you're in a def, it makes you burn more fat, but then you swell, and it's just like this weird like pressure cooker situation where it's like, I'm swelling, I'm gaining muscle, I'm doing this, I'm staying the exact same weight, basically. And it is so like weird because as I stay the same weight, this feeling of a deficit, it feels like it keeps deepening, and there isn't any relief because the weight never goes down. So eventually this deficit will no longer exist because eventually the weight will come off and it will just be what I use to maintain. And I'm counting at about like what would be 175-ish as far as weight. And I weigh 215. So it's about a half a pound of a deficit. And it's like, it just keeps deepening and deepening and deepening. And I feel caught in this because it's like my sleep starts to go down. It starts to like tank. my hormones start to feel weird. You know, I'm getting into this like deficit feeling, and it's prolonging the vanity era. It's keeping it going. And then I'm getting frustrated because then it's like, okay, I was starting to look snatched. Then I went and started the hack squat, and then everything just went to shit again. I swelled up like a beluga whale. I went right back to where I was, and it's frustrating. And I feel like it's a lot of work to stay the same, or it's a lot of work to keep bloating up and staying very average. And it's like, I feel like I'm right on the cusp of something, and it's just not quite happening, but I feel caught in the momentum of everything too. Because as far as like my appetite and all these things, they're all set. Like, it's much easier. I was a little bit hungry during June and July, and you know, that solstice period, it was a little tough. It was a little sharp. But that is totally gone in August. I feel fine. So it's like, damn, there's just a lot going on in terms of like my, hold on a second. Okay, there was just a family walking by and I didn't want to record them. But anyways, the point is, it's just the way that it feels. It's almost like this like pressure cooker situation, because I'm very set on path and I'm set with where I'm at. I'm not going to eat more. I'm not going to eat less. I'm going to stay the same. And I keep waiting for it to get easier, and it actually keeps getting harder. So then it's like this feeling, like the vanity era feeling, or those feelings, they continue. And I even got sick because I'm stressed. I'm physically stressed. It is like physically stressful. Like I'm still in a cut. And I'm just like, technically I am, but it's really not anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a deep cut at all. It's like basically nothing to me anyways. But it's like those feelings keep deepening, and I feel like so frustrated with the situation. And then now it's like my mood is getting sour, and I don't even think it's really like seasonal. I think it's very like my body. It's very individual. Like, I think if there is a seasonal effect, it's just that it's so extremely hot that it makes you burn more calories, basically, because it's so hot and your body's like trying to regulate. But I don't even go out in the sun. Like, I'm not outside as much this year because I've reduced my other job. So it's just this very weird situation. And it's like, this sucks. Like, it's frustrating. And it's like, but I feel like I can't really complain about it because it's not as bad as it used to be at all. So I guess the way I would describe it is it's very annoying. It's annoying. There's like this feeling of irritation. And obviously, like, when you're in a def, the weightlifting and all these things, it hurts. It's like, it's worse. It's harder. And it's like, but it's not that deep. Sorry. It's not that deep of a cal def. So it's like, I can still build quite a bit of muscle and I can still do all these things. Like, it's just weird. It is really weird. And then there are times when I go to the gym and I'm weak. I'm very weak. And I'm just like, ugh. And then there are times where it doesn't matter and all these things. And I'm trying to like really build my legs, trying to really cement the maintenance, like the long-term maintenance, because this isn't just a vanity journey. It's kind of in between. It's like vanity meets recomp at the same time. And I do see differences in my body. I do see things changing. Like I don't know if I want to be super specific. I'm not saying this in like a TR way. Okay. But my like roll around my waist, it's really going away to a point where I'm like, okay, this is kind of like crazy to me that this is actually going away. But then within vanity, in the vanity back rooms, which is what I call it, where it's kind of just this never ending process, it's like you swell and then it looks worse again. So you really have to like, it sounds paradoxical, but I feel like within Vanity, and especially like Recomp, because your swelling is going to be a lot worse because you're having more food. It's kind of like you have to just like, you paradoxically have to not care about how you look in order to actually get the goal. Like if I really cared that much, I'd give up, or I'd do something crazy or something. You know, it's like you'd get into this weird mode. But I actually look better just being in Recomp than when I was in a cut. So it's like, I feel like people kind of, they can lose the forest for the trees when it comes to Vanity. And it's like, I call it Vanity weight because I am still in that cut. So I'm technically, it's like, it's still in the realm of fat loss where I'm having the similar feelings of like a Kesha era or a shallow cut, but it's technically Recomp, but it's kind of where they overlap. That's where I'm at right now. And I suspect I'll be fully in Recomp by around November, because I think at a certain point, the weight will start to come down. At a certain point, I will not put on this much muscle. You know, the muscle will slow down and I will start losing weight. And when that happens, then the cut feeling will go away, or it will reduce slowly over time. But it is just very annoying. It's super annoying. And I'm frustrated with the process, extremely so. It is like, it's a lot of being sore. It's a lot of being tired. It's a lot of all these things. But again, I do have goals and I want to fulfill them. And so it's like, if I have this goal, then I have to do it. And I do kind of understand, like, not really complaining as much, but I feel like I have to be honest and like talk about how I'm feeling in this time, you know? And it's like, it's annoying and I'm getting really tired and I'm getting really swollen. And like over the past couple days, it's like, since I started the hack squat, it's like I'm getting irritable and I'm getting all these things, and it's just like, you know, that sucks. But I'm not really taking it out on other people as much at all, like, because I don't have the avoidance piece anymore, which is interesting to see too. And then the other thing I want to talk about is I've kind of shifted. So I told you guys a lot, like, during the Vanity era, it affected me and made me extremely spiritual during that time. And I utilized it for a spiritual journey, chakra work, all these kind of things, because it opened your mind and you can really think about things quite deeply. That has all gone away for the most part. And I feel like it's become really focused, like particularly on finances. And so I've been really thinking a lot more about like bulk buying, because I have like a tiny bit of savings after like a month, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the month, I have a tiny bit of savings, whereas I used to have zero, like nothing, ever. I used to be like totally paycheck to paycheck. And when I say tiny, I mean like it's tiny, okay? Like I'm not saying like I'm loaded or anything. But the point is, like, I'm learning more about finances. I started watching Honey Bison's financial channel, and and then I hear a lot about like Angelica and Robin. They talk about like overconsumption and fast fashion and all this crap. And so I feel like there's like this tiny bit of spirituality from this very, very tiny Vanity era, or like this tiny cut, but it's very like materially focused. And I feel much more material. And I'm like, I need to get my finances in order. Like it's become like this view of like, I have to focus on my finances. This is wasteful. And then the other part of it is I am like shifting a little bit more Seraphite in terms of my like consumption and and the things that I do. So I'm really trying to deplasticify everything. Me and my mom are getting a coffee percolator so that we can get rid of plastic out of our coffee, and we're going to just grind our own coffee beans using a manual grinder and start buying whole bean coffee, because I think it's a bit cheaper in bulk and organic and all that crap. And I've started to focus on like organic grains. So like I have organic gluten-free oats, and I'm going to get organic rice today. and I'm buying it in bulk and just kind of being smarter with my money and shifting a bit more Seraphied-ish. I started having some liver and stuff. Like, I'm really wanting like real food, and I don't know if it's a part of like, again, my grounding work and all that stuff. I think it is. I think it makes sense, you know. That trip was kind of like the cherry on top of this past year of vanity, downsizing, and spiritual work that overlapped completely. And I feel like I'm in this transition period to the next phase of life, and I feel like it's really focused on finances now. So it's kind of like my spiritual beliefs about money are what are changing, and then my practical actions towards money. And I feel like I want to improve that deeply. And it feels very satisfying to me to improve my financial responsibility, and also to go more towards more real food. And I don't want to have, like, the holidays are coming up, and so I was making a decision, like, I don't want to have corporate slop. I'm gonna make my own candy corn. I don't want the dice. Like, I had Coke on the plane, and I swear to you, those dice, they literally like dumbed me down so drastically. I was like almost becoming a conspiracy theorist about the dice. Like, I'm like, I literally feel like they give them to people so that they're dumb, because it was just crazy. Because I haven't had it in a long time, and so the effects of it were so obvious that I was like, I'm not doing that, and I don't have to. It's like they overcharge for candy corn. I can use my own ingredients. I can make it myself. So I think this holiday, I'm going to make my own shit, because it's cheaper, it's healthier, and it's just like, I don't have to have any added bullshit into what I'm eating. And so I feel like, I don't know, I just feel more grounded, I think. And I want to make some material changes in my life. And I feel like those are like kind of baseline things. Like, I'm really excited about deplasticifying my coffee, you know, and I try my best with clothing. I really try not to have plastic clothes, but it's really hard to find a jacket that is not plastic, and I have to wait till I'm done downsizing completely, you know what I mean, like till my sizing, because I'm kind of also in between sizes. Like, there's just so much like in between, and it's not like I have this TR feeling about being gray or in between, because it's not that drastic. And I feel like I have to clarify that, because I feel like a lot of times people take it from like this extreme level. It's not. It's just, it's uncomfortable, or it's annoying, it's frustrating. That's basically how I feel about it. So it's like, my shirts, you know, I'm not quite in a medium shirt, or like in a small large shirt. I'm not quite in a small short and pants, but I probably will be soon. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not quite here, I'm not quite there. I'm about a 36 in jeans, so I think I'm a 36 in terms of like my waist, like sizing as far as pants, which is pretty crazy. So that's cool. I've lost a little bit there. I was so lucky that because I had just thrifted a pair of 36 jeans, because my 38s ripped, and so I just got rid of them. And I was like, I figure I'll be able to wear them by the time I need them. I brought jeans on the trip, and thank God I fit in them, or I would have really been pissed. But I totally fit in them, like very comfortably. So I'm like, okay. And then I got some fall stuff out in Cali. I thrifted some fall shirts and stuff that are a bit smaller and that kind of thing. And I might have to get another Britishy Georgie jacket. I might have to get a smaller one. I might have to go to a medium at some point. I'm going to keep the one I have for now. It's so crazy to me. Did you guys know that the first Britishy Georgie jacket was a 3X? And now it's a large, and I'm going to have to go to a medium, which is just crazy. So I'm going to keep an eye out for that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel so in transition. I'm also trying to rebrand a bit on my channel and just focus entirely on E-Fall by the letter D, because I feel like that's what my channel became anyways. And so with that comes different kinds of scrutiny, people acting like I know nothing of what I'm talking about, and, you know, like all this bullshit. Like, I don't know what's censored and what isn't. I don't know what anything is. Like, I don't know if there's some kind of legitimacy crisis coming up again, or I don't really know if people are just weird right now. I guess, like, the difference is, like, when I was a mid-sized princess, I really cared and I was really pissed. I don't really care that much. I'm just like, no, whatever, you know? But I feel like people are trying to challenge me more for some reason. It's not like drastic. It's not even something I'm really complaining about. I just don't really have an explanation. So I'm going to pay attention to that. But other than that, I mean, everything's going well, you know? Things are going well. I'm still at peace with Mr. Jordy, by the way. So, I mean, the attachment style work is a major success as far as I'm concerned. I have really changed. I have like no fear of commitment or no fear of anything like that at all. Even if he doesn't believe me, he still doesn't. But I understand why he doesn't, because it's like a very drastic change, and I don't blame him, because it is fast. I'm like, oh, I really changed, you know? But I don't know. I think sometimes with me in particular, it's like once I get something, I just like totally shift. It was the same thing when I left the TR. You know, I left it and I fought and fought and fought like hell to get out of it, and it took me forever. And then when I finally was just like, I'm done, I just left and I never went back, and it was over. And so I feel like that's kind of similar with the attachment style issue. But yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes, like, when it comes to E5 by letter D zombies and TR zombies, if they feel like you're nice, they immediately try to attack you. They immediately try to do stuff. And I can immediately go hostile, like in a second, like still, you know? But I have a very focused force when it comes to it. But it's like, honey, just because I'm nicer now doesn't mean that I'm not still a bitch. Like, I am. Trust. So I don't understand that perception, but I think that might just be being so feminine presenting and all that crap, and people just think they can just say something and I'm not going to say something. It's like, I'm an activist, you know, I'm going to say something. Like, I don't know, but I don't know if it's just the TR zombie bullshit where they're like, I can't, they're like, I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird. And I will say this, the PDF thing is so crazy. Just like as a side note, that whole thing is so crazy when it comes to fatness and fat acceptance in general. They're getting very, 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 very hostile. And I think it's because they're losing at this time. Like, I tell you guys that all the time. I can tell when they're doing better and I can tell when they're doing worse. For a while they were doing better, but they're doing worse again. So when they get worse, they start to lash out. So just a warning. But anyways, so it's just weird. Lots of career stuff on my mind too. Basically rebranding and all that stuff. It's different for me. But I think it's, as far as like this health update, I think it reflects still the spiritual aspect of like focusing on money and business and these kind of things in a way that I haven't really. And I feel like for me, it's more balancing, but yeah, it's all in between. So I just want to say thank you guys for supporting me still. And I have felt very supported during this time for the most part. And I really appreciate you. And I just want to say that. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a good rest of your day, night, etc. Bye.